Wow, that was terrible beginning. Hi everybody, welcome back to Tutorials where I choke on my own spit. It's super exciting here on the Beading Dream stream. Aren't you glad that you tuned in for this tutorial? So yeah, we're back with tutorials after our week of sales. We've got a light week today. We do have our unbagging stream tonight, and then we are not doing a tutorial on Saturday because we are doing a full-on new merchandise live sale Saturday evening. But we do have a tutorial for you tonight, and that's going to be this one. This is our Loomed Gemstone Bracelet. So this is one of two variations on how you can make that style of bracelet that's pretty popular. And so this one is good if you've got stones that have smaller holes. The other version that we teach, which we call all tied up, is better for stones that have larger holes because you use a wax linen cord for that. It's hard to get that through a stone that has a small hole. Also, by the way, thank you for everyone who stopped in for my sound check earlier. I was not expecting to have an audience for that.
We're always happy to have an audience.
Always happy to have an audience. It was just unexpected. Oh, I'm sorry, Corvus. They're not doomed bracelets, but, I mean, they could be. You could find a way to make them doomed. I don't quite know how, but I trust in your creative powers that you can make anything doomed.
Doomed gemstones, yes.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Okay, so let's talk tools and supplies. Yeah, Lori said she almost forgot how to take notes. We'll see if I remember how to teach a tutorial, since it's been a minute since I did one. Alright, so let's talk tools and supplies for... Okay, I'm moving this over. Sorry, yes, earthquake! There, that's better. It's hard for me to, like, I want to look at myself on the screen and not the camera, but I should look at the camera because otherwise I'm looking off screen. And anyway, welcome to #streamer problems, as you all know. So let's talk tools and supplies for this evening's tutorial. All right, you're going to need some 1.5 millimeter leather, and I've got this kind of cool bronzy gold color that I am using tonight. Okay, auto exposure. Are you going to be friendly or not friendly to me tonight? You kind of seem like you're going to be unfriendly. You're going to need beads, and you don't need a whole strand of beads. I do have a whole strand of beads here, but I'm only going to use probably about a third of this strand of beads. You're going to need a button, that's for the closure. You're going to need, okay, auto exposure. I'm officially done with you. 2 minutes into the broadcast. I have no more patience for that nonsense. Luckily, everything, for the most part, except for the audio. The audio is a little weird, but thanks to everybody, I got that. So, what the heck? Really? It's because I am so brightly colored. There we go. That's a little bit more of a normal exposure. But yeah, seriously, everything worked. I plugged everything back in, and it all worked except for the audio, which I finally found the stupid menu to fix it when it's not working right, when I'm getting echoes. So that was very exciting that I finally figured that out, and now we are echo free. Hopefully we are still, yes, we do still have audio. Audio and no echo, so yay for that. But yes, again, I was not expecting to have an audience for that. So anyway, back to now that I fixed my exposure, you're going to need Fireline. So Fireline is actually, it's literally fishing line. It is a Berkeley product, and look, there's a fish. If you go to Bass Pro or a fishing store, you will find this sold for catching fishes. At some point, some beaders discovered that this is actually a really kick-ass material to use for seed beading and weaving. This is a gel-spun polyethylene, so it's a very, very strong fiber for its size, and it's very, very resistant to being cut. So it makes a really great material for using with crystals, using with gemstones, anything that's a little bit sharper on the edges. The Fireline is fantastic with. So love that. And then you are going to need a needle, and I just have a regular old size 10 beading needle that I'm going to use here. If your beads have smaller holes, you can use a bigger, no, that's backwards. If your beads have smaller holes, you can use a smaller needle. Number is bigger. Beading needles are like seed beads. The bigger the number, the smaller the needle. So if you wanted to go smaller than your size 10, you could do a size 12 or even a size 15. No, 15s are a giant pain in the ass for a number of reasons. So try and avoid stones that have that small hole if possible. Okay, so I'm going to start by cutting myself some of my fire line, and I'm going to thread my needle. So I'm going to find the end of my fire line. No, I didn't think that would be the most difficult part of the broadcast.
Well, hopefully it is. If it's going to be like that.
See, smack it. Smack it works. And I'm going to cut myself about 5 feet, which for me is a double arm span, because proportions and all of that. And fireline is a booger when it comes to cutting it. You need a really sharp scissors to cut it cleanly, and it actually will dull out your scissors over time. So actually my favorite scissors for cutting fireline is these little industrial thread snips, which is not what I used just then, because I forgot I had them there. These are great because they're really sharp, wickedly sharp. If you've ever cut yourself with them, you know how wickedly sharp they are. And they are, it is Diane. Well, it's more, I don't know, it's more turquoise. It's a little lighter than I was expecting it to be. Because of course, since I'm not a professional, you never really know what color it's going to come out of the bottle. But yeah, I did it last night after I got my hair cut.
It's especially bright in the back of your head.
Oh, is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't see the back of my head. And I did not look at the back of my head. So...
Well, the back of your head is quite fetching,
well,
as is the front. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, you look good coming and going.
Oh, yay. That's the best. But anyway, so these are sharp and cheap, so you can replace them when they wear out. So I'm going to go ahead and, thanks Diane, that's Kathy. Kathy, our hairdresser, is amazing. Love her to death, and she's so talented. Okay, so I'm just going to take my thread, and I'm going to thread it into the eye of the needle. And the fire line's a little stiff, so you can actually sort of flatten it with your fingernail. And a little known fact about beading needles, there we go, is that the eyes in them actually can be directional. So if you're having trouble threading your needle from one direction, go ahead and flip your needle over and thread it from the other direction, and it'll probably work much better. Okay, I'm going to stick that needle into my bead mat so that I know where it is theoretically, and I'm going to grab my button. Thank you, Corvus. I probably won't match my hair and my clothes all the time because I don't have that much turquoise in my wardrobe. I mean, I have a lot of turquoise in my wardrobe, but not enough to wear every single day. But I figured for the first day of the new do, that I would do that. Yeah, this is 6-pound fireline, Diane. The fireline does come in different sizes. Diane makes a good point. The 6-pound is kind of the average. That's what I use for most things. I've done a couple of really, really fine projects though in the past that were reconstructions that, see Angela, I cut it off, just like you said. I cut it off like Angela said, and then I put colors in it like Corvus said. So thank you guys.
And it's amazing.
Thank you Fashion Stream for not steering me wrong.
They would never.
I know. They would never, because they're awesome. But, yeah, the fireline also is available in the beading community in a 4-pound size, and that's good for really, really fine things. I haven't used that one that often, just for a couple of projects here and there. Okay, I'm going to take the end of my fireline. So this is the end that's furthest away from the needle. Okay, so the needle is here. My end is all the way over here. And what I've done is I've folded my leather in half, and I have threaded it down through my button. So I've got my button now at the middle, or close to the middle. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's pretty close. Close to the middle of my leather. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fireline, and I'm going to tie it onto one of these two pieces of leather. Doesn't really matter which one. Just pick one, and you're going to tie it on with a nice sturdy double knot. So there's one, and two, and then this is where I'm going to actually start my beading. So I'm not going to tie this together in a knot, because what I actually want here is I want to use this separation as a way to make space for my beads. So I'm going to take my bead strand, and I just have these mother of pearl Heshi discs. You might remember those from the sale on Saturday night, I think it was. I like them, so I'm going to use them for my project today. So I'm going to pick up one of my Heshi discs on my needle, and then I'm going to pull it all the way down. And this little tail is a little bit obnoxious, but just hold it out of the way. You don't want to cut it until after we've glued it, and we haven't glued it yet, so we're going to go ahead and just leave it be for now. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that in between my two pieces of leather. Then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go under my leather. So this is coming over my leather right here that you can see. I'm going to go under my leather and through my bead like so. And I'm just going to hold everything together, and I'm going to pull it all the way through, and it's going to be a little bit awkward and messy at the beginning. Once you've done a few beads, it'll firm up and it'll be a lot easier to hang on to. Okay, so we have one bead in there, and then I'm going to tighten it just by holding everything together and pulling my fire line and doing a little shimmy. Okay, shimmy is one of my favorite ways to tighten my fire line. Alright, and now we're going to add our next bead. So this is going over this. Put your bead on. Pull it all the way up. So it's coming over this. Then we're going to come back under this piece of leather through your bead and under this piece of leather as well. So it's over and then under. And then pull everything all the way through. And now hold everything together. Shimmy. Now, again, over, bead, so over, bead, over, and then under, bead, under, like so. So it's just always over on the first pass, under on the coming back pass. So this is where I get to confess that even though I call this, and then you're going to hold, and see how that's loose there? Go ahead and shimmy that, and now that's nice and tight. Don't shimmy, you want to shimmy enthusiastically. We're always in favor of enthusiastic shimmies on the Beading Dream stream, but don't shimmy too hard or you're going to cut your leather with your fire line. Okay, so now it's time for a little bit of a shortcut to make your life a little bit easier.
I want to see an enthusiastic shimmy.
Well, I just did an enthusiastic shimmy with my fire line.
That's not the kind I want.
Maybe on the next stream.
Okay.
Okay, so to make your life quicker, to make this project quicker and easier for you, what you can do, once you kind of familiarize yourself with the pattern, is you can put your bead on your needle and then set it in between your two pieces of leather. And as long as your needle is going over your two pieces of leather, then your thread will go over your two pieces of leather. Hold everything in place and pull all of your thread through. And now, okay, and beware of this. Okay, so what happened here is this thread caught accidentally on my other piece of leather. That is not what I want. That's not desirable. Thankfully, it's not a big deal. I'm just going to loosen that up a little bit, and then I can actually take this leather, and I can pull it out of there, like so. Okay, so there's my bead, and now I can take my needle under my leather, through my bead, and under my leather. Try not to stab yourself in the finger like I just did. And then again, hold everything in place and pull it through. So it just saves a little bit of potential thread tangling when you hold that bead in place and then pull the thread through. And then once again, hold everything in place and do a shimmy. Like so. So now we're just going to keep doing this until we have a bracelet. So again, this is where I'm going to confess to you all that even though I call this the Loomed Gemstone bracelet, there's no loom actually involved in this project. This is the, thank you Sophia, I'm loving it too. I'm super happy. Super, super happy with it. Heather's been enthusiastically shimmying off camera.
Yes.
But anyway, so there's not actually a loom involved in this project. But if you were doing bead looming, this is the exact same technique that you use on a bead loom, where you string your line of beads, you pop them up through your warp threads, and then you come back through them with the needle going the other way. So it's the same technique as you would use for looming, but there is not actually a loom involved in this project because I am a dirty, rotten, blue-haired liar.
I don't think you're dirty.
Okay, fine. I'm just a rotten, blue-haired liar then.
But I'll find out later when I'm sitting next to you.
It's true, you will. You don't know what I've been up to today. So again, I'm just putting that in between my leathers, pulling through, and then going back on the second pass underneath. And this is one of my favorite tricks when you're using a lot of thread, is you can actually, pull through in sections. So, rather than just trying to extend your arm out as far as it'll go and it's still not long enough, just pull little bits of your thread. Like so. Shimmy. And there we go. So again, I'm just going to continue this until I have a whole bracelet, which for me, since the closure is going to take up about an inch, for me an entire bracelet means I'm gonna weave about 6 inches worth of beads, which hopefully shouldn't take me that long. Now, this is a great project for Heshy, which is obviously what I'm using now. It's a great project for round beads, and rondelle beads. It doesn't work so great for like flat and coin-shaped beads, because what happens is they wanna. So a coin-shaped bead is a bead that's literally flat, shaped like a little coin or an M&M, Skittle. Pick your small tabular candy of choice. But what they want to do is they want to flip sideways, and they don't want to lay nicely like this. So you need something that when you go through the hole is the same dimension essentially all the way around. Cubes. It's also a really great project for cubes. Basically anything but coin shapes. Rice shapes are good. Flat ovals not good because they function just like coins. But as far as shapes that are excluded from being good for this project, there really aren't that many. There's my shimmy. Okay, so I'm just gonna continue on with this for a little while until I've got my 6 inches. So, ooh, bugle beads are also awesome. Diane is not wrong.
Who are the children terrorizing the front of the store?
No idea, but some children are screaming bloody murder outside of the store. So let's talk about what's happening at 7:30. We're not doing a live sale tonight because I have new things. that I'm well, okay, I've already unbagged. They're in a bin now, so it's going to be an unbinning of new merchandise.
As long as you didn't throw them away in that version of
No,
binning.
they're not in that kind of a bin. They're just in a plastic bin. So I've got new stuff. I did not go to Tucson. You guys probably knew that by the fact that I was streaming last week. Not from Tucson, but from my house. But I did manage to squeeze in a tiny little buying trip to get just a nice little curated selection of new merchandise, and I'm going to be unbinning it for you live right here on the Beading Dream stream. Now, what the hell did I just do?
Stuff.
Wrong stuff.
Did you forget to enthusiastically shimmy?
No, I didn't forget to enthusiastically shimmy, but I forgot to enthusiastically do the pattern correctly.
Oh, well. That's a problem.
It is a problem. Like, I would... How did I go so wrong, Heather?
I can't see what you did yet.
Well, I'm not showing anyone what I did because it's embarrassing.
Oh, okay. Well,
So, no
I blame myself.
no one gets to see this awfulness. We're just going to pretend that didn't happen, and we're going to go on merrily with the stream. La 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 la.
That's the way I like to stream.
Heck yeah. Pretend like nothing happened. Oh, there's a sneeze in there. It's going to come out.
Bless you.
Thank you. So yeah, so unbinning at 7:30, theoretically from 7:30 to 8:30. We'll see if I can curb my enthusiasm to keep it to an hour. We will see how it goes. And we'll actually have a Heather on this side of the camera with me. Thank you, Corvus. Corvus just blessed my soul. We'll have a Heather on this side of the camera with me because, of course, we need those genuine Heather reactions for
Yes.
future clips. Also, it's going to be interesting if my dad and stepmom are on tonight because I just realized that I didn't tell either of them that I was cutting my hair or turning it blue.
And yet,
Oh.
here we are.
Amy says, the screaming outside is unattended boys having races in front of the store.
So that must mean that I should let her in.
Maybe so, I guess. So then we will... Ooh, yay, Diane spent all weekend organizing her seed beads. Yeah, what I got to do this like snow weekend was sort of what I fantasized people were doing when we had lockdown in early 2020. Because of course, when I was locked down, I was streaming twice a day and sneaking up here to the store in between to get merchandise and meet occasional clients, etc., etc. And so I was running around like a hamster on a wheel. But I was always fantasizing about everyone that they were cleaning and organizing and this and that. So that's what I got to do on my snow days, which was pretty awesome. I finally unpacked all my shoes from when I moved a year and a half ago. And I unpacked most of my costuming stuff. And so I'm wearing a pair of shoes now that I haven't...
I love your hair! Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Surprise!
That's so good.
But yeah, I'm actually wearing a pair of shoes that I haven't seen in a year and a half. So,
That's awesome.
very exciting.
But we can talk about your hair.
Everybody's been talking about my hair.
Nice.
Yeah, you're just a little bit late to the party.
Oh, you just got an Amy in all caps from Ace.
Oh. I know that.
But anyway, yeah, I didn't. So anyway, I didn't tell my dad and my stepmom about my hair. So if they're on, it's going to be a surprise for them too. Though I was actually super surprised that my mom didn't have anything snarky to say about my hair.
Okay, I heard some of it.
Oh, what did she say?
You're on a verge.
Oh, was she talking about me being a blue-haired lady?
Yes, she was.
Oh.
That's real funny.
And she also said her hair has not been that blonde, even when she was a kid.
Yes, well,
And
that's what peroxide will do.
What to say
Oxide
something
and
not
bleach.
nice.
well, I would just never do that to my own hair.
Oh, did she really say that? That's hilarious.
And you know what? That's okay. Don't.
bad, so sad for you.
Yeah.
I like my hair.
I'm going to take a picture of the back of your hair
Oh,
later.
Yes,
to
so
show
that
you.
I can actually see it. Well, I do have like hand mirrors at home. I can
Was
go
it
and
done
look at
today?
it. I did it yesterday. I got it. Well, okay, I bleached it on Saturday, and then I got it cut yesterday, and then I did the turquoise last night. After the haircut.
Oh, it looks so good.
So it's new.
Yeah, it does.
It is new. It's brand new.
It's very happy.
Yes, it does. It makes me smile, which is definitely worth its weight in gold these days. Exactly, Corvus. I'm here only for amazing people, not stick in the muds. Stick in the muds can just stick themselves in the mud and stay there.
I'm not going to say anything about how some people need a stick in their mud.
I got a lot to say, but I better not. I woke up from a nap, and the first thing that came out of my mouth was like, "I'm going to Beading Dreams." The kids looked at me like I was crazy.
They should know by now.
I was like,
They
"I am."
should. I mean, it's
Yeah.
been so long.
Did you see all the medication on the counter? Hello.
Okay, so I've got myself into a bit of another tangle, so I'm going to show this to you guys. This is not as embarrassing as the last one. So just when you're doing this, sometimes what happens is it's the ends of your leather that your thread kind of reaches up into, so super, super easy to fix. Again, just find the errant loop, which is that one there in this case, and then we're going to just pull our leather out of the errant loop and then tighten it up with our enthusiastic shimmy. Diane says hi, Smee.
Oh, hi, Diane. I thought you were here. I was listening but not watching, and I thought she was in the store.
No, she is not in the store.
No.
She is on the interwebs. I see her there on the Facebooks.
It's just us chickens.
Just us chickens in the hen house.
Yep. So before I got
You look
myself
so
into
pretty
this little
today.
tangle,
You're Spock. I'm Spock.
I want to look at your necklace.
I was clipping along at a decent pace.
And then I interrupted.
No, and then I screwed up. Then I made a mistake.
Oh, wow. Did you do all this? Oh, okay. I thought it was tea. Looks nice.
Okay, so when you've made a mistake that's as complicated as this, unfortunately this is when it's usually a good time to unthread your needle and then just start pulling your threads out.
Next week.
Because if you try to back through everything with your needle on, a lot of times what'll happen is you'll split your threads, and any seed beater will tell you that that's just like the kiss of awful, is splitting your thread, because then it won't slide at all, and then your shimmy will be useless.
My shimmy is never.
Okay, that's fair. Heather's shimmy is never useless, but mine occasionally is when I split my thread. I've been known to do a useless shimmy or two in my time. Alright, and then just re-thread your needle, which I realize is not that easy for everybody, but just re-thread your needle and keep going. So where am I as far as length goes? Why did I use the totally wrong arm to reach for that? Okay, so I need 6 inches. I'm at 3.5 right now, so I got 2.5 inches of beading to go. So if you're doing it right, everything should stack up nice in a row like this, and your top and your bottom are not going to look identical, but all of the stitches, you know, on your top should look the same, and all the stitches on your bottom should look the same, which means these should all be at the same angle, and then these should all be straight vertical. And on we go.
It looks so good. On my tiny little screen that I'm squinting at.
So,
I thought you were making a choker just from what I saw on like the photo. It would make a good one.
it would make a good choker, it's true.
Yes.
And so, oh, I never did, sorry Lori, I never did say how much leather I was using on this, I just said some. So for a bracelet, you need about, 2 feet of leather is safe. You could probably get away with 18 inches of leather if that was all you had. You could probably get away with that for this project, but 2 feet is going to definitely make sure that you have enough for all of your knotting and all of your finishing, and to make whatever size bracelet you need. But if you have a smaller wrist and you're running short on leather, 18 inches would probably do you for this project. If you wanted to do a choker, then you would probably want about, just to be safe, about 3 feet of leather. So basically the formula is you definitely want, twice the length that you're trying to make, because of course we've doubled it over, and then you of course want to give yourself extra for knotting, so a solid 6+ inches of extra is never going to be a bad choice.
So if you're doing a wrap bracelet, it would need to be at least 3 feet.
If you're doing a wrap bracelet, what I usually will figure is 2 feet per wrap.
Okay.
Is what you want. So let's see, unbagging or unbinning tonight at 7:30. Tomorrow at noon we do have a tutorial stream, and that's going to be our triple Josephine necklace. This is one of my favorite projects from our projects of days past. So triple Josephine tomorrow at noon, and then tomorrow evening is Torch Thursday. We're going to be doing our twisted bar earrings, which is actually another one of my favorite projects. Yes, I love that technique. I love that technique so much that after I did the twisted bar earrings, I did like 4 other classes with the exact same technique, because it was such a fun thing to do. Alright, where am I? I am at 5 inches. 1 more inch to go. So I have used, like I said, about 1/3 of my strand. So this is a good stash buster project, especially if you're doing just a single bracelet, because you don't need anywhere close to a full strand. You don't even need half a strand to do this, which is, again, nice if you're trying to get rid of bits and pieces that you have lying around.
But for this, you need the exact same number of inches that your project will end as. Is that correct?
Well, yes, but if you think about...
In beads, I'm sorry.
Well, in beads, but if you think about it, like when I'm doing my hushy or something like a rondelle that's wider than it is tall, I'm going to have 6 inches of beads as I'm laying them on the bracelet, but on the strand it's less than that, because
okay.
So it just depends on the shape of beads that you use. But yes, you essentially need as much length of beads as you need for your project. Lori is correct. You can mix colors of beads, you can mix styles of beads, as long as they're the same size. And actually, you can't even mix different sizes. If you're going to mix different sizes, it works better if you do kind of a gradual increase, gradual decrease sort of thing. And someone remind me that I should put that on the stream at some point, doing this with different size beads, because it is a pretty cool project. Alright, 2 more beads and I will have my 6 inches. Okay, so that is my last bead. Don't forget to shimmy it in place. So this is now 6 inches of beadwork on here, and then my closure is going to take about 1 inch, so that's going to make me a 7-inch bracelet. So now it's time for me to tie off my fire line, and I'm just going to do that around whichever piece of leather it's closest to. So for me that's going to be this one. And I'm just going to tie it off with a few half-hitch knots, which means I'm going to take my fire line around my leather so that it makes a loop, like so, and then I'm going to take it through the loop, pull everything through, and then once again, shimmy it down nice and tight. And we're going to do that three times, because with a half hitch, since it's only a half knot, you need to do several in order to make it secure. So we're just going to go around to make a loop, like so, and then through that loop with your needle. And we're going to do a third time just for good measure. So again, around and through your loop. Okay, and then I don't need the rest of this thread, so I'm going to cut it down short to about 2 or 3 inches. Okay, don't cut it right flush with the knot, or quite yet, because we do need to tie all of this off, and we're going to tie this end into the knot that we're going to make here for some extra security. But first, we're going to grab some hypo cement, and we're just going to put a couple of dabs of hypo cement on each of our knots. So that's the knots that we just made that are right there. And then we have, don't forget, we have the knot at the beginning, which is how we started. So we're going to go ahead and put some glue on there as well. And then I'm going to take all 3 of these strands of fiber, and I'm going to tie them all together in an overhand knot right here at the end of my beads. So I'm just going to take that around my finger, and then take all 3 of those pieces through the loop that I have created. And then just hold that, pull it up, so that ideally that knot winds up right next to your beads. And if this end that you glued actually winds up in the knot, that's totally fine. At this point, we are done now with our fire line ends. So I can take my snips and I can get rid of the fire line, the end, and also this tail from the beginning can come off. In theory, it can come off if my scissors will begin to cut it. And then I'm going to tie a second knot just far enough from this first knot that it can serve as a receptacle for my button. Like so. Well, you know, only sometimes. How did I get the cap on the hypo cement so fast? Lots of practice. Lots and lots of practice. And the fact that even though my eyes are going, they're not quite gone yet. So I'm going to tie another overhand knot just around and through. And just make sure that that actually, there, thought it does work, which it does. So you don't want it to be too big, because obviously you don't want it to fall off. You know, you don't want the button to come unattached, but you need it to obviously be big enough to actually function. And now something that you can do if you're making this for sale, or if you're making it for somebody who you don't exactly know their wrist size, you can actually tie another section here, and that makes it adjustable. So now you have a large size and a small size here, like so. And then you could even tie a third one if you wanted to. I usually stick with 2. And then I'm going to cut my leathers, and I like to cut them at an angle, and I like to cut them offset from each other. There's no reason for that, except I think it looks cool. That's it. It's the only reason. And there you go. That is your loomed gemstone and leather bracelet. And of course, it doesn't have to be gemstones. It can be any beads, glass, crystals, you know, whatever. Go through. Go through. Ha. It also does bear mentioning that your leather is going to stretch as you wear this, so it is worthwhile to make your closures a little bit snug in the beginning, because they are going to stretch out as you wear it. I never have cinched the ends of the leather that I cut. If you wanted a black, honestly, I'm such a hack sometimes. If I wanted a black finish on the end of the leather, I'd probably just take a Sharpie to it. But that could be fun, singeing the leather.
That is a good idea.
Yeah. Alright, so that is it. There. It was twisted. It was bugging me. Alright, so that is our loomed leather and gemstone bracelet. That involved no loom at all, because, again, I'm a blue-haired liar, but that's okay, because you all hung out and watched me do it anyway. So thank you all so much for hanging out on the Beading Dreams stream for the Well, the thing about singeing things to keep them from fraying is in my experience, that only works if they melt. Leather's not going to melt. It's just going to burn. So, I don't know. I don't know if that would be an effective technique or not. But thanks so much for hanging out for our Loomed Gemstone Bracelet on the Beading Dreams stream. I am Allison from Beading Dreams in Dallas, Texas, back with tutorials again after our week of winter sale, and I will be back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream, with another tutorial tomorrow at noon. Again, that's going to be our triple Josephine necklace. It's another leather project. Apparently I was feeling very leathery when I was putting together the projects for this week. And then we will have Torch Thursday tomorrow night for our Twisted Bar earrings. But of course, you don't have to wait that long to see me again. Oh no, I will be back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream, in just about half an hour with our unbagging, unbinning, unboxing new merchandise preview stream. So, everyone, take a break, grab a cocktail, and possibly a snack is the word I'm looking for. Possibly a snack, definitely some hydration, and we will see you all back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream, for the unbinning in 30 minutes. So exciting. All right, everyone, take care, and we will see y'all soon. Bye.